American Airlines says they're really not going to be back up and running until tomorrow. All the airlines are pretty much saying the same thing. That as it relates to the New York City airports. I want to show you this. This is a real-time look at the efforts out on the runway to clear the ramps. So take a look, Hallie. We're going to go right through this plate glass window, and this is what they're doing right now out at LaGuardia between concourses C and D. They're moving all of the snow, and what that means is there's not a single plane out there, right? So even if they got it all cleaned right away, there's no way that they're going to be able to take off because there aren't any planes here. So that's not going to happen until tomorrow, and this is a full effort, ongoing effort. It's not just on this ramp, but all the ramps, all the runways around LaGuardia and then Newark and JFK. That's why we have such a mess here. Here's the misery map very quickly. We want to show you we have all red over LaGuardia, over New York City right now. Nothing's moving here. Go up to Boston, same thing, red in Boston, nothing moving there. If we go down to D.C., we have an awful lot of red, and Philly as well, but they are hoping they can restart flight operations by noon or so today down in D.C., but as it relates to the rest of the Northeast, from D.C. north, it's going to be a very slow go for at least the next 24 hours. Hallie, back to you.
Tom Costello at New York's LaGuardia Airport. Tom, thank you much. From New York now, a little bit further south to Philadelphia. It's where we find NBC's Morgan Radford. Morgan, walk us through what you're seeing, because the snow is not the only concern there this morning, right?
That's right, Hallie. In fact, you can see it's also the sleet that's coming down. But already here in Philly, we're standing on those famous steps from the movie Rocky. You can see there's already up to about 4 inches of snow here in the city proper. We've seen up to a foot in the Poconos. But I want to show you just here behind me. It's these streets, Hallie, that people are really worried about. As this sleet mixes with the snow and those wind gusts pick up, we've already seen wind gusts of up to 35 miles per hour. That's stirring up all that snow and is creating lower visibility for those drivers. Schools have been completely shut down. People have hit the stores. They've been stocking up on food, on water, on supplies, especially things for their cars. Now, authorities have asked people to stay inside and really not leave their homes unless there's an emergency that warrants them leaving. Otherwise, they're asking them to stay inside and make sure that they stay safe, because these roads out here right now, Hallie, they're treacherous, and we are under a winter storm warning until 6 p.m. tonight, Hallie.
For there in Philly for us, Morgan, thank you. Stay warm. So how much longer is this thing going to last, right? When does it wrap up? And when might those big snow piles start to melt down? MSNBC meteorologist Bill Cairns is in the Weather Center. Bill, a lot of questions for you. Give us some answers here.
Too long and not soon enough. That pretty much just sums it right up. Back to you. Now, you saw the pictures there. We have a sleet storm ongoing for many areas of I-95 from New York City southwards. North of there, it's a lot of snow that's falling currently. That's where the worst of it is. Blizzard warnings continue in here. 68 million people total impacted. The blizzard warnings are in the purple colors. And the worst of this storm, a couple days ago, it was shifted kind of where my hand's located, from Philly to New York through southern New England, and then it started heading inland and further inland and further inland, and then that's why the forecast kind of changed over the last 24 hours, because the storm is located right on the Jersey Shore and about to travel over Long Island here shortly. This is what we call the dry slot, by the way, and that's going to come up over the top of Long Island. The backside is going to have some snow on it, but it's really the front end that's just a huge amount of snow. Look how big that snow shield is, and that's where the heaviest snow is. So here's an updated snow addition map. Again, this doesn't take into account what we've already had, and you notice that we're just about done in D.C., just about done Baltimore, Philadelphia. Maybe you'll get another inch or two at most. New York City possibly, and again, 3 to 6 inches still possible, but New York City's in the middle of a sleet storm right now, and you're not going to really accumulate much until you go back over to snow, and it's really the northern portions of New England that get the heavy stuff. So again, 1 to 3, Baltimore maybe at most, Philly another 2 to 4 at most, 6 to 10, it'll be a total snowfall for New York City. And again, the huge totals are all through central and northern New England. Hallie, that's what they'll be digging out come tonight right into tomorrow morning. But I think a lot of the other big cities on I-95, those kids better get that homework done and be ready for school tomorrow.
No kidding. Bill Cairns, thank you much. Right behind me, you can see the snow-capped capital, but the snow has mostly stopped falling here, at least in the District of Columbia. A very different story where Bill was just talking about in parts of central New England. Joining me now by phone, Connecticut Governor Dan Malloy. Governor, thank you for joining us here. Walk us through how it's looking where you are. What are the conditions?
Well, I'm watching screens, and it's coming down pretty hard. Visibility is dropping, and we're getting, there's 2, maybe 3 inches an hour in parts of the state. feet. Listen, I hope we don't get a whole lot of snow, but so far we are getting that snow, and high winds are a concern as well, particularly along the shore where they seem to be getting more of that.
Listen, we know Connecticut, right? I've worked at Channel 3 for a long time. They get snow. Snow happens. People are ready for it. But do you think there's a risk, at least in this particular storm, of people getting too comfortable with the fact that it is winter in New England and not being prepared enough? How do you try to combat that from your perspective in the governor's mansion?
Well, I think we did a pretty good job. Yesterday, we announced that we would close the roadways and have a travel ban effective 5 a.m. today. And that has worked pretty well. We have just a handful of accidents that have occurred because the roads are basically open. People are heeding our call to stay home. You know, when you have predictions the likes of which we were getting yesterday, it's important to take the steps to make sure that you can be open the day after the storm. And that's what we're concentrating on. We understood that today would be a washout day for us work-wise. But, you know, our concentration is, all right, let's get back to normal the day after any storm, and that's what we're going to do.
When do you see the travel ban you just mentioned being lifted? What's your timeline estimate for that, Governor?
You know, we'll wait and watch the snowfall. I'm not in any rush to lift it because it's working. Again, I haven't gotten an update, but earlier today we had about 6 accidents that had occurred on the highways, and that's probably as compared to 100. So it's working, folks. And what our big fear was when we were getting weather predictions of 3 to 6 inches an hour, you get an accident, you close 3 lanes of a highway, you back up the traffic, you get 6, 7, 8 inches of snow, and all of a sudden you can't move, and it could take you hours, if not the better part of a day, to dig out from that and tow out from that. So that's what we're trying to avoid, and so far we're avoiding it.
We are taking a look at one of the boxes on our screens here at Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Governor, what do you think? What's your estimate? Are kids going to be heading back to school tomorrow? Is it going to take another day or so? When is the state going to be able to dig out?
Superintendents. I think parts of our state will be open tomorrow, and I think a big chunk of the state probably will not open. Remember, it's not only the roadways; you have to have the parking lots and the sidewalks and all of that stuff done.
Right. All right, Governor Malloy, good luck to you. Stay warm, stay dry. Our thoughts are with you and folks in Connecticut. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Up next, we're going to hit our other big headline of the day. Divided Republicans rushing to respond to the CBO's new analysis of their Obamacare replacement bill. Democrats pouncing fast, actually speaking right now over on Capitol Hill. We are taking you there live next.